Hello, fine people of the interwebs. Thank you, Al Gore, for making this possible. We are in London right now, but we are catching up on a video. What are we, day? Probably 11, I think, we're looking at. And we had this wonderful house concert in Chippenham, which we talked to you about last time. We stayed in Chippenham at a hotel that they had set up for us, which was very nice and
That's
awesome. Came picked us up in the morning, and we went back to the house to have some great homemade breakfast, which there is nothing better than that in the world. We had some sausage biscuits and
homemade pancakes.
Teddy, my boy Teddy, made me some pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
They were great. We also, I talked over some time, I'm sure if you've watched these videos, you know that I have a new guitar that I got here in the UK on Denmark Street, which is one of the famous music streets in the world. And I had toyed with this idea of having folks sign the guitar to make it kind of a cool keepsake from the tour. And in the moment, I guess we just decided to go with it and to have folks who hosted us for house concerts and whatnot sign the guitar. I don't know what whatnot is, but the folks who are hosting us for house concerts. So all four of them, so Sean and Harriet and Theodore and Ellis, all signed the guitar, which was really sweet.
It was very sweet. They all did beautiful signatures, and some of them are perfecting their cursive.
It's true. It's true. I was impressed
very
with
nice job.
T. Dizzle's cursive.
That's Theodore.
Theodore, yes. Because, like in the States, no one learned, the cursive is a dying art form. It's like hieroglyphs. So anyway, we saw the Rosetta Stone. It felt like a full circle London moment. Anyway, we had a wonderful breakfast with them. It was it was very fun. All the dogs, everybody in the kitchen, we were just having a good little family breakfast. And it was a really nice way to wrap up our stay with those folks. Then Sean, because he's thebomb.com, that's what the kids say, drove us to the Bristol airport, during which he told us
He recounted a tale of Rex the dog.
Per Theodore's request.
Right, which we were unsure of Rex's origins.
No, I thought he said it was a friend of his he went to college with or something that had a dog named Rex.
I'm sure that there was a dog named Rex. I'm unsure as to whether or not this story was true, but it sounds like there's a series of Rex-related stories that all are very Lassie-esque in origin. But in this particular story, Rex saved his family from a burning building.
Yeah, and was decorated for his work by the firefighters.
Which makes me just kind of want to... We've been talking for a long time about writing an album of songs just dedicated to our dogs.
That's true.
And I kind of want to write a ballad about Rex.
I think Rex might make it on the... Even though he may or may not... It's questionable origin story.
But that's the root of every great folk song.
Right? No. I'm not. This isn't an argument. Are we arguing? I don't think we're arguing.
It's a tall tale.
We don't know that he's tall either.
But he has a tail.
Oh, zing, bo zing, ding, ding, ding. So anyway, he told it like a professional storyteller, with some fine details, with some good pauses, some interruption from a child, but that's okay. It was really he was driving, so it was really
Great
impressive.
Multitasking.
Really, really well done.
Sean
And he took us
an audiobook narration.
Yeah, true. Whereas when I tell a story to your nephews, they get really ticked off because I ad-lib stuff. They've heard the book so many times that they know that I'm just going off script. And my favorite thing is they don't get mad at me. They just kind of look at whoever else is in the room.
Any other adult, they're please get this man in line.
What? Who brought this guy here and why?
He's breaking the rules of logic.
He doesn't get to make up...
Set this guy straight.
Anyway, it's my favorite thing to do because sometimes stories need between the line. Yeah. I don't like to think of it as embellishment as much as it's a co-write, really.
Everything's a collaboration.
That's right. I learned it from watching you.
Everything I say, Ben takes poetic license on his
So true. Anyway, he took us like a really beautiful off the main highway kind of back way to the Bristol airport. It was really neat to see these little towns, and I mean, all of England has been that way, where there's just like pockets of history and like just, I don't know, if you use your imagination, you can kind of see what these buildings were a long time ago, and it's really neat that they're still preserved and just kind of built around rather than replaced. Anyway, went to Bristol. We rented a car because there was a rail strike yesterday. There are 3 planned rail strikes while we're here. Luckily, we'd already rented a car for one of the other days, and then we're just crossing our fingers that they come through for us on my birthday, and we don't have to rent a car, and we can actually take a train up to Scotland. If not, we'll figure it out, because that's what this trip is really about, is figuring it out. But we decided to rent a car rather than kind of take a chance on trains. And we got a stick shift manual car, which I haven't driven much. My very first car. And then Mom's had a car, like here and there I've kind of driven, but it's also different because you're A, on the opposite side of the road, and B, the stick is in your left hand. And yes, I know I play guitar with both hands, but like when you've learned everything to do with a car on one hand, it's just several things going on at once. And the goodest part of what happened when we you heard me, when we rented the car was I could not figure out reverse. So like in the US, it's like all the way to the right and down, and like on the stick shift it shows you it's like all the way to the left and up. But every time I was just like Herculean effort to shove this thing, and then I would drop the clutch and it would it would just go forward. And so Sean's like watching us, like he's just waiting until we leave, basically, to see us off.
Call for help.
And I call him and I was like, does anyone in this country go in reverse? And he came over. It took him a minute too, because I guess a lot of times over here they have a button that will let you. But this was like, if you look at a stick shift, there's like a little like cover for it, and you like pull the cover up, and then you're allowed. I don't know. I would have never figured it out. We would have been sitting at that airport forever. Anyway.
Or never reverse.
Or forever never. Or yeah. Or no, because there was nowhere for me to go. Anyway, we figured it out. I stalled us once. I took us down a very, very, very tiny road on accident once. I hit a curb once, and other than that,
it was perfect driving.
It was great.
He did such a good job.
Especially on the way. After about 30 minutes, I felt pretty good.
There was one other incident that really cracked me up, because after those initial stallouts, that small curb incident then was doing a really great job, and then we had to parallel park for his show that night, and he had to take another swipe at it initially, and there was a man outside of the pub just smoking a cigarette watching us, and later we learned that it's like a favorite pastime of Brits to just watch people parallel park. It's like a Schadenfreude, where you like delight in someone else's shame.
That sounds German.
Yeah. But that's a universal emotion.
Well, what's funny is you can finish the story, but our friend told us about this, and then today when we were in Bath, we saw like 8 dudes standing around watching someone back up a truck. Anyway, so go ahead.
It's true. I think that Brits truly do just love to watch people reverse into a parking spot. I get it. There's a lot of suspense. Like, will they make it? Will they hit their neighbor?
Are they fools?
Will they give up and try to find another parking spot?
I don't give up on parking spots.
So
I make it happen.
Ben had to take another swipe at this parking spot. There's a man outside smoking the whole time, and he's like probably like our age, but he looks kind of tough. He's covered in tattoos. He's smoking a cigarette, and Ben has to take
just like he's staring at us, trying to.
He's watching me like. I was just.
Are you embarrassed for your man?
I was just waiting for the earth to swallow me up, and because this guy's just like watching me, like holding my breath, and I caught him kind of make like a micro.
Yeah, like I really messed up the first, because over here the roads are fairly, they're in spots that get really thin, and so people will just park partially on the sidewalk. To make sure they don't get hit, and everybody's mirrors fold in. Like, it's very clear that it's an issue that the roads are narrow. That's the word I was looking for. And so when you're looking over the opposite shoulder on a curved road. I was like 90% of the car was on the sidewalk. And I think I almost like was about to hit him, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And of course he didn't move. He just...
Yeah, well, that was enough to get his interest.
He was like, oh, this guy, let's see what happens next.
Right.
And mostly I was trying to get out. There was also heavy traffic. And I just wanted to when you're trying to park, you just want to get out of the way and try to do it well. I did not. I did get out of the way quickly, but I parked like a moron. But anyway, I do it over again the second time.
And he's committed to watching us at that point.
Oh yeah, he's in. He's like, I'm here for the entire movie.
And Ben corrects, he gets into the spot perfectly. We all collectively breathe a sigh of relief. And when we open the car, this guy is done with the sticker and he just like goes, yay!
It was like not the voice I expected, not the reaction I expected. It was fantastic.
Nice to know that he was really rooting for us, though.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we played this venue called the Lamb and Flag. Obviously, a new place to me. Most of these places are. Just a pub that had a cool, really nice back patio.
Yeah, they had a really great vegan restaurant above as well.
We had
cheeseburgers, and you would never have known the difference.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so good.
Yep. We had 2 friends show up.
Yes, Stuart and Donna.
Stuart! But they are huge Dunwells fans and part of the Army of Friends. If you have followed this along, you know that we played their festival last week. And I also met Stuart at Mile of Music. So a little callback to several weeks ago when I was up in Appleton at that amazing festival. And Stuart came to see me with some other folks who are in that group. And they're just such a great community. And really it showed supportive. Because they came out and saw me again and shared my music with that group again. It was very, very sweet. And is a little different at the pub because now I'm playing covers and, there's a lot of stuff. They'd only really see me play originals, especially at Mile Music and especially because you only play originals there and at the festival. And it was loud. It was a proper pub gig. Like loud. There was a fight at some point. There was there were just, a yelling. There was a yelling. There was a yelling incident.
Those 2 were just my guardian angels. I was so glad to have that table to share with them and just kind of have our own little quietish corner where we were listening to music. And I just had a great time chatting with them too. Really, really nice folks.
Yeah. And I always feel, Amanda's got the tough part of the job. Like I'm playing and singing and Amanda's like sitting there just a target for anyone who comes into a pub to like bug. Plus she's Amanda. She's very friendly and she'll like anyone who goes to engage her, she's generally pretty good about it. But sometimes you get some winners and some people who are feeling good.
Yeah.
Feeling good. But anyway, there were 2 ladies that like, I forget what song I played where they went bananas, but they were feeling good. The one girl was like, I'm turning 30 in a month. And I was like, all right.
You said something great to her. We're like, are you celebrating now by having a drink every day until you turn 30? Or are you having 30 drinks tonight? And
no, are you having all the, yes.
Yeah. And she said, yes.
Yeah, both. Let's go.
Yeah. It was a very like loud. It was like a cool venue. I think like just like a random smattering of folks all together, and it's always different when folks aren't necessarily there to see music,
but
when you're sort of part of the environment.
And I say this all the time because folks will say to me, don't you get mad if people aren't, it's not a listening room, whatever. And I always say absolutely not. Now my friends or people that come to see me. Mm-hmm. Yes. But for me, my job, whether I'm playing Benny Bassett songs, an all original show, a house whatever the show is, my job is to entertain people. And what happened when I took my first break is I went to the bar to order another drink or whatever, and 3 different people stopped me and just said, well sung, or whatever, like whatever they had to say. It's like,
they just said,
it was a lot of that. No, and that's what matters. Because everyone enjoys things differently. Hello, it's 2023. Some people enjoy it loudly. Some people, they're just all about telling their own stories, but they're still listening to you. Some people like to sit quietly. Like everyone does enjoys themselves differently, and that's fine. It doesn't bother me. It makes it hard sometimes to concentrate on what I'm doing, but that's my job. That's why they pay me the big bucks. Someday. So anyway, it was a very cool spot. I would play there again in a heartbeat. I would love to play out on their patio since that was kind of a cool space.
Such a great, like, terrace space.
But yeah, wonderful. Our friends, wonderful.
And they stayed through the whole
They stayed
set.
the whole show.
Saw us
walked us outside.
Yes,
it was very sweet.
like,
and we stayed at this Airbnb on the River Severn. It was her name is Lynn. If you ever stay in Worcester, tell her we sent you. But she had a beautiful garden with Amanda's favorite animals, the banana slug, all over the place.
I can't do banana slugs.
She doesn't do banana slugs or swans or geese or ducks or birds of any kind. Is that it?
I think so.
Yeah, she's pretty good with everything else.
Oh, stingrays.
Oh, God. That's right. I forgot about stingrays.
But anyway, Lynn did not have any stingrays in her garden.
She had no stingrays.
It was very beautiful. And she was just so kind, like, really.
She made us croissants.
Yeah.
For breakfast. And she had, like, a beautiful, like, place setting out for us to have breakfast. And we were like, bye! We got it.
And great.
Yeah. The Benny Bassett tour does not have time for fancy place settings.
But she was so lovely. She, like, showed us all, like, the little tricks her cat knows. And,
oh, yeah, that's cute.
Just very, very sweet woman.
Yeah.
Airbnbs are nice, I think, on the road because, like, it can just, or especially when you have hosts that want to interact with you, because it can just be like a little taste of home. You know, it kind of like takes the edge off of road weariness and just like
there are like Airbnbs where you're just sharing a space and it's a space to lay your head, and there are Airbnbs where you're like you feel like you're learning a little something about where you are.
Yeah.
And that was a really neat part of I would love to come back because right outside her back door there's a walking path that goes all the way into the city. It would have been really neat to walk that and have like a cup of coffee and be a normal human being instead of this crazy train that I have us on all the time. But the other reason the reason we did this trip 4 years ago was to try and find places. And the places we found that we really liked on this trip, we have more days or more time. So it's just part of doing it. And like, this is not the last time we'll be here at all. I love traveling, and especially when this young lady's with me. And we love Worcester. We also went and saw, there's a beautiful cathedral there built in the late 1100s. Is that 12th century or 11th century?
That'd be
12th century. It was gorgeous. There was also like the remains of an old, they call them hospitals, but it's based like on the word hospitality, meaning kind of
like a hostel. Or
you could. Basically you would come in from out of town and you would be given one night to stay and food.
On the condition that you worshipped in the cathedral the next day that you attended church services.
Of course, everybody's got to tithe a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we also saw there was a beautiful steeple that was still left from an old, not like ancient or anything like that. It was just kind of a really beautiful spire that was left up, and there were all these sunflowers. That's right. Because
the local workforce, was mostly people who made gloves.
That's right. Anyway, a really great little town, has a lot of history that we didn't even get into. So, our friend Arthur, that's his Instagram name, Stuart, was telling us about all of it. So we're gonna have to come back and take him up on his offer to basically tour guide us.
Yeah.
I don't think he offered that, but he has now.
Well, now we're gonna force him.
Amen.
Thanks for that, Stuart.
Anyway, we'll see you on the next one.
Talk to you soon.
Bye. I don't know. Bye.